8 signs you're moving from anxiety to security in relationships. Healing in relationships doesn't happen all at once. It's not a big cinematic breakthrough. It's not one perfect partner who suddenly erases your fears. It's not a single conversation that changes everything. Healing is subtle. Small shifts in how you think. Small shifts in how you react. Small shifts in how you feel. Over time. If you've ever struggled with anxiety in relationships, you know how loud it can be. The overthinking. The fear of abandonment. The constant scanning for signs that something is wrong. But security grows quietly. Here's how you know you're moving toward it. 1. You don't overanalyze every message anymore. There was a time when you reread texts 5 times. You examined punctuation. You wondered why they used a period instead of an exclamation mark. You search for hidden meanings. Now you assume clarity instead of expecting confusion. You take words at face value. In the book Attachment Theory explains how anxious attachment scans for threat, even when none exists. Moving towards security means your nervous system no longer treats every delayed response as danger. You don't need to decode. You trust what's actually there. 2. You feel calmer when there's space. Time apart used to feel like rejection. If they were busy, you felt forgotten. If they needed alone time, you felt replaced. Now space feels normal. You understand that healthy distance strengthens connection. You don't interpret independence as abandonment. In Hold Me Tight, Dr. Sue Johnson explains that secure bonds allow both closeness and autonomy. Real connection doesn't suffocate, it breathes. You've learned that love doesn't disappear just because someone isn't physically present. 3. You ask for what you need instead of hoping they guess. Anxiety often whispers, "If I ask, I'll be too much. If they really cared, they'd just know." But security says, "My needs are valid, and I can express them." You're more comfortable saying, "Can we talk tonight?" Or, "I need reassurance right now." Or even, "That hurt." In the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, Dr. John Gottman's research shows that healthy relationships thrive on clear, direct bids for connection, not mind reading. You no longer wait silently while resentment builds. You speak. And you trust that your voice belongs in the relationship. 4. You don't chase reassurance constantly. You still appreciate comfort. You still value support. But you don't need constant proof that you matter. Before, reassurance felt like oxygen. Without it, you panicked. Now, reassurance feels like warmth. Nice but not necessary for survival. In The Power of Attachment, it's explained that as attachment wounds heal, regulation comes from within. Your stability is no longer outsourced. You can soothe yourself. You don't spiral as quickly. You trust your worth, even in silence. 5. You trust consistency instead of testing it. Anxious patterns often create tests. You pull back to see if they chase. You act distant to see if they notice. You manufacture scenarios to measure care. But security doesn't test, it observes. You let their actions speak over time. Consistency becomes louder than anxiety. In Wired for Love, Stan Tatkin emphasizes that secure relationships are built on predictable, reliable behavior. Not emotional games. Not uncertainty. You don't need to provoke proof. You trust patterns. 6. You notice red flags without trying to fix them. This is a powerful shift. Before, you overexplained. You overgave. You overfunctioned. You believed if you loved harder, communicated better, or sacrificed more, you could make it work. Now, you notice misalignment and you pause. You don't rush to rescue. In set boundaries, find peace. Boundaries are described as an act of self-respect, not punishment. Security allows you to step back instead of stepping in. You observe. You assess. You choose yourself when necessary. 7. You feel like yourself in the relationship. You're not performing. You're not shrinking. You're not trying to earn love. You laugh how you normally laugh. You say what you actually think. You don't monitor every move. In Daring Greatly, Brené Brown writes about vulnerability as courage. Showing up as you are without armor. Security feels like that. You're not managing someone else's perception of you. You're simply present. 8. Conflict doesn't feel like the end of everything. This might be the biggest shift of all. Disagreements used to feel catastrophic. A change in tone meant disaster. A hard conversation meant impending abandonment. Now conflict feels manageable. Not pleasant, but survivable. In nonviolent communication, Marshall Rosenberg teaches that conflict is not proof of failure. It's an opportunity for deeper understanding. Security understands this. You no longer see conflict as the end of connection. You see it as part of connection. Moving from anxiety to security isn't about becoming emotionless. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's not about never feeling fear again. It's about feeling safe enough that love doesn't feel like something you have to fight for. It's about a nervous system that doesn't sound the alarm at every silence. It's about trusting that you are worthy, not because someone proved it today but because you believe it. Healing in relationships is quiet. It's choosing to pause instead of panic. It's choosing to communicate instead of assume. It's choosing to observe instead of chase. And one day you realize something subtle but powerful. Love feels steady. Not dramatic. Not chaotic. Not consuming. Just steady. And that steadiness, that's security. That's healing. And that's how you know you're growing.